Boring history for sleep. The long, slow rise of the internet. In the quiet hum of a forgotten office, a screen glows faintly. Somewhere a server breathes. A blinking cursor waits patiently. The story of the internet begins not with excitement nor drama, but with silence. Lots and lots of silence. It all started long ago in the late 1950s, when the world was still spinning gently under the weight of analog thoughts and slow-moving bureaucracy. Computers were large, very large. They occupied entire rooms, humming rhythmically like sleepy giants. These machines could only talk to themselves, isolated, unaware that one day they might be asked to share. In 1958, the United States created ARPA, the Advanced Research Projects Agency. Not many noticed. Most people were thinking about television, not telecommunication. But ARPA, quietly and without much fanfare, would one day play a role in the network that connected everyone. And that is how most things began, quietly in dusty rooms, under fluorescent lights. Years passed, slowly. In 1969, something small happened. It was the birth of ARPANET. 4 computers were connected: UCLA, Stanford, UC Santa Barbara, and the University of Utah. The first message ever sent over ARPANET was supposed to be Logan, but the system crashed after just 2 letters, L and O. It was by all accounts uneventful, but the message had been sent. And now the world would never be quite the same. Or at least not as isolated. Through the 1970s, the network grew, but not quickly. Like the slow formation of a sand dune, it was almost imperceptible. More institutions joined, more protocols were tested. Packet switching became a topic of quiet discussion in windowless conference rooms. A man named Vint Cerf and another named Bob Kahn introduced something called TCP/IP. It stood for Transmission Control Protocol and Internet Protocol. The names were not very exciting, but the protocols were very reliable. January 1st, 1983 came and went. It was the day ARPANET officially switched to TCP/IP. There were no parades, no fireworks, just engineers making sure everything worked. Slowly, gradually, this new system began to feel stable, like a bookshelf built very carefully, one protocol at a time. And then, as the 1990s approached, a British scientist named Tim Berners-Lee had an idea. He worked at CERN, a quiet place filled with quiet people doing very quiet research. He thought it might be nice if documents could be linked together. So he made something called the World Wide Web. It was at first just a proposal, written on paper. Then it became a simple system for linking hypertext. He also created HTML, HTTP, and the first web browser, which he called World Wide Web, later renamed Nexus. The first website was not exciting. It contained basic text, no pictures, no sound, just words on a screen. But it could be accessed from anywhere, and that made it revolutionary, though it didn't feel revolutionary. It felt like waiting for a kettle to boil. Slowly it caught on. The 1990s passed gently, like a fog rolling across a field. Dial-up connections became a familiar sound, that screeching, hissing noise that meant you were going online. People waited patiently for pages to load, often going to make tea while an image downloaded line by line from top to bottom. By 1995, the internet was commercial. Companies began to build websites. Yahoo appeared. Then Amazon, which started as a bookstore. Google came in 1998, not with a bang, but with a clean white page and a search bar. It would eventually become the most visited website in the world, but at the time, it was just another project made by students. Through the early 2000s, the internet began to speed up, though not by much. Broadband connections arrived. Wi-Fi was invented. People slowly stopped using floppy disks. The dot-com bubble came and went. Companies rose and fell. Pets.com became a symbol of early internet optimism and early internet failure. And yet the internet remained, calmly, quietly, growing. Social media was born in the 2000s, but again, it was a slow bloom. MySpace, Friendster, and eventually Facebook, where people connected with friends and forgot their passwords. Twitter allowed short messages. YouTube allowed cat videos. The web grew noisier, but its history remained slow and deliberate. Underneath the memes and videos, protocols still hummed along, unchanged. Cloud computing arrived. Smartphones appeared. People began to carry the internet in their pockets, but few stopped to remember ARPANET or Tim Berners-Lee or the first two letters ever sent. By the 2010s, the internet had changed the world, but no single moment had been loud. It was a quiet revolution. Every step, a whisper. Every innovation, just another protocol, another link, another page. Even today, the internet continues to evolve. Calmly, steadily. New languages, new frameworks, artificial intelligence. The future is uncertain, but one thing remains true. It all began with a crash after the letter O. And now, as you read the story, the servers still hum. The routers still blink. Somewhere someone refreshes a page, and somewhere else someone falls asleep, thinking of cables and nodes and packets drifting through the void like digital snow. So let the lights of the internet continue to blink softly in the dark. Let the data flow like rivers of silence. And let your mind drift slowly, gently, like a web without end. Good night, traveler of the web. The story of the internet will still be here tomorrow.